Physically attractive people are more likely to get away with bad behavior. In fact, if there is an act of violence, people are more likely to excuse the behavior of the physically attractive individual. Here's the truth though, people are naturally born psychopathic. By that I mean specifically that we lack empathy as a human species for certain individuals depending on how they look and if we can relate with them. The early religions of old, and especially Charles Darwin's own observations, demonstrate, as well as the experiences of life versus the attractive and the unattractive, that humans are inherently lacking in morals. We have empathy and altruism that is limited and selective and biased and influenced by a chemical reaction in the brain to those we find appealing. And even those, as a species, we find degenerate, genetically speaking. A lot of these people who love to virtue signal about how humans should be illegal, some of these people are the very same individuals who would go out of the way to harm another individual if they had the opportunity. And that's what's tragic about it. Human beings can virtue all they want. We can virtue signal all we want as a human species, how everyone's equal. Life is lovely. It's not. Life is nihilistic. See, the thing about nihilism, the reason it's so politically incorrect is because it exposes human nature. It doesn't paint a white picket fence of what humanity is. It exposes it for being inherently corrupt, devoid of any sense of morality, and completely egocentric and self entitled. We may genuinely care about people, don't get me wrong, but even when we care about someone, it gives us a dopamine boost in our own brains. Our own brains are programmed to be selfish. Nihilism is not something pleasant and it's not something that is politically motivated because it can't make money. And a part of the system's agenda is to lie about humanity, the so-called morals of humanity. We're devoid of morals. We have care and concern for people, sure, but that care and concern is limited. It's not perfect. It's not complete in altruism. It's selective and biased. This is why people can bully other people in school and have no sense of remorse or empathy for the person when they are damaged. And I myself was someone who experienced this in school. There was a teacher who encouraged an entire classroom of students to gather around and call me names. This was when I was young. And when I cried, the kids found pleasure in it. They enjoyed it. They enjoyed to see me cry. And the teacher enjoyed it. And, the so called police of justice, these so called protectors of the weak, where were they? They didn't do anything. They weren't there. They didn't throw her ass in jail. That's for certain. She wasn't charged with abuse, and she enabled a classroom of young kids to bully me. And I myself was a young kid. A letter was written, a complaint, nothing was done. What's even worse is a lot of these teachers were supposed to be Christians, the hands and feet of Christ, right? But they condone bullying because human nature transcedes religion. Human nature will always trump religion. There is no religion for your face. You are bullied even in church. We can virtue signal. If you're a religionist, you can virtue signal about how you love God and people. You will still judge people by how they look and not even realize it. There is no safe place, not even in religion. Religion's a con. Now, let's say for the sake of argument, there is a God. There could be. Who knows? But organized religion is a con. And human nature influences religion. So, why do you think there's a bunch of sexism and um, misandry and misogyny? Misandry being women that hate men, and misogyny being men that hate women. Why do you think these things exist even in religion? Because religion is influenced by human nature. It's not actually religion that's oppressive, it's human nature which influences it that becomes oppressive. In the same way, it's not capitalism or democracy or conservatism that is oppressive. It's what is influencing these things that it has become oppressive. So even in civilization, society, The reason some people, to a certain degree, are socially or monetarily oppressed is because human nature is influencing the suffering. No matter how long, how hard we try, you can never trump human nature. Poverty is a result of human nature. Poverty is a result of cognitive bias. We don't care about the ugly. We can't, it's not in our nature. Even ugly people hate other ugly people, not on a conscious level. It's more like a biological level. So there is no bad personality. By that I mean specifically a bad vibe. Someone's weird. It's actually how they look. And because of how they look, we have this horn effect from our perspective, and we see them as weirder than what they actually are. It's not something you can control as a human being. But the problem then lies in lying about it. Not that what it is, but lying about it. And the media does this all the time. They lie about the importance of physical attractiveness. They lie about personality being more important. And believe me, I looked into some of these studies about how personality is allegedly more important. And in some of the studies, it still states that looks had an overall contribution into mate selection. So it's not that looks don't matter, but the claim is being made that personality matters more. But this is only after a looks threshold is met. So once someone is considered physically attractive, then the person gets to know them and gets to know their personality. But even so, there are shelters full of people who couldn't detect the bad personalities of other individuals. In fact, this is common with men and women as well. Women get with shitty guys, and sometimes men get with women who happen to be serial killers. And they put up with it. Men and women put up with this because human beings in general, this isn't about sexism, mind you. I'm being equal here. Men and women adapt to the personalities of their partners because they're good looking. And it's at their own harm.